The Alaska Summit 2025 was one of the most anticipated meetings of the year. For the first time since the war in Ukraine broke out more than 3.5 years ago, U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sat down face to face. The setting? A U.S. military base in Alaska, with the slogan "Pursuing Peace" as the backdrop. The 3-hour discussion didn't produce a ceasefire deal. But the mere fact that the two leaders met was seen as significant. Both men gave vague public statements afterward, avoiding direct answers, which left the world guessing about what really happened behind closed doors. For Vladimir Putin, the Alaska summit was already a win the moment he stepped off the plane. He walked a red carpet, shook hands with the American president on U.S. soil, and received a U.S. Air Force welcome that included a B-2 bomber and F-22 Raptors. This imagery alone sent a message. Russia's leader was no longer isolated on the world stage. Putin's top objective was clear: lifting sanctions on Russia. He arrived with advisors and businessmen, highlighting that trade and investment were his priority. He pointed out that Russia-US trade had grown by 20% since Trump returned to office, describing opportunities in energy, high-tech, digital industries, and even space exploration. Arctic cooperation also came up, as Russia continues to eye Alaska's strategic importance. But beyond trade, Putin signaled what he wanted on security. He mentioned Ukraine's security, but with a catch: Moscow must approve the arrangements. That implies NATO expansion or Western troops near Ukraine is something Russia will not tolerate. For Trump, the meeting was supposed to showcase his deal-making skills. He wanted to be the president who could bring Putin to the table and talk peace. Trump even described the summit as a 10 during his Fox News interview. But the results weren't concrete. Putin said Russia was sincerely interested in ending the war, yet no guarantees or binding commitments were announced. Expectations had already been lowered, with Trump calling it a feel-out session. In reality, it was Putin who appeared to be feeling out Trump. The planned luncheon was canceled, and both leaders exited Alaska quickly after their statements. Another signal that things didn't go smoothly. Still, there were small glimmers of progress. Putin noted that agreements made in Alaska could serve as a starting point for future talks on Ukraine and on improving U.S.-Russia relations. Trump himself admitted that while they hadn't reached a deal yet, some headway had been made. So who really won? On perception and presence, Putin came out strong. He gained legitimacy on U.S. soil, showcased Russia's trade ambitions, and reinforced his security stance. For Trump, the victory was modest. He got Putin to the table, but left without a breakthrough. The world now waits to see if Alaska was the beginning of a genuine path toward peace, or just another chapter in the long U.S.-Russia standoff. If you like the video, then don't forget to subscribe. It really motivates us to create helpful videos.